Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bethany, and on this channel we talk about the false beliefs taught to women inside of the church, and we also shine a light on problematic Christian influencers. So if any of that resonates with you, go ahead and like this video, share it with a friend, and always be sure to subscribe. If you would like to receive videos 12 to 24 hours early and exclusive content, please check out my Patreon right here. Everything will be in the description box below. Today we are reacting to another Brittany Dawn video. She just posted a video yesterday, and I wanted to react to it because the title is Our Failed Adoption, IUI, Showing Children on Social Media, and Embryo Adoption. I really wanted to react to the showing children on social media part, so we're going to go ahead and get into that. But first, do you see anything that you haven't seen before? I got a new mic. I'm so excited. Listen to this. I can do ASMR. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's so disgusting. I apologize. I cannot stand ASMR. It's so gross. Okay. Yes, I got a new microphone. I'm so very excited. My husband just got it for me, which he's amazing. Whatever. I am so very excited. So, put in the comments how it is, if it needs to be closer to my mouth. I kind of experimented a little bit, and I figured this far away was perfectly fine. So I don't have a place where it can be like right in front of me yet, but I do want to get another mic stand. So we're just gonna put it right there, and it's just, I'm so excited. Oh, and before we start, thank you so much for everyone who commented on, I'm backdated on commenting back to videos. It's kind of overwhelming. However, I am very, very thankful for y'all who did comment about the adoption, because I was kind of giving Brittany and Jordan a little shit in the last video because I was ignorant rather, to how adoption worked. And they kept saying, well, it fell through and it happens all the time. And I kind of, to be quite honest, I kind of thought that was BS. But y'all told me that it's not. So thank you so much for that. And I genuinely had no idea, but because of y'all, I do now. So thank you. Now let's get into the video.
Rolling.
This video is not brought to you by Sonic, but I wish it was.
Oh, Sonic. Shout out to Sonic. I wish you guys would sponsor us. Welcome back to my channel. We are here to answer some...
We just started. We're rolling. I know that I've talked to y'all about this before, but I have, and I know you probably do too. You have, I don't want to say like the baby voice because that's super obnoxious, but my husband and I have this way we speak to one another that we only do together because it's cute and it's, you know, whatever. And I'm sure that y'all do too. Not that it's like baby talk like that, but why on God's green earth would you do it on camera like that? And why is, man, I can't. Okay, great.
questions that you guys have been asking us a lot.
I like this setup. This is good. It's comfortable.
It's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's got Sonic drinks.
Yeah.
It's air conditioned.
I got like my seats air conditioned. This is nice.
Yeah. Are you satisfied? Are you happy?
I feel pretty good. Take it away.
Question number 1. Congrats on adopting. Are you still doing IVF? We did a podcast over these questions, so if you guys are more into podcasts, I'll link that below. We've never been pursuing IVF. Like, it's always been IUI, and there is a big difference. We've had very big convictions over IVF. Personally, it's just something that
She is making her life so much harder by not recording the podcast and just extracting the audio, making it a podcast, and then just doing the like, she's making her business load so much more difficult and busy than it needs to be. She just can do a YouTube video and extract the audio. There's the podcast.
Want to do. I never want to pursue that. And there's nothing against someone that has done IVF. We personally know people that have done IVF and they have beautiful children from it. I just feel like, to me, it's too much of like trying to play God.
Each person, each couple, everybody has different convictions. We have some friends that did IVF and have wonderful, beautiful children out of it, and we love and adore them as people and consider them amazing friends. They are amazing believers and Christians. For us, it's just
Fundamentalist Christians are so funny. I used to do this. When you have a specific conviction and you're like, it's not really a sin, but I have a conviction about it. But if Susie does it, it is completely fine. She is a believer in Jesus and she loves the Lord with all her heart. Our convictions are just a little different. But my opinion is it's just playing God just a little bit too much. But they did it and it's okay. You know what I mean? It's like my conviction is holier than your conviction. So, and B. Haney, she brought up a really, really good point in one of her Brittany Dawn videos. And I think it was the Starbucks one. And it's Brittany Dawn gets convictions and simply making choices mixed up. Like every decision that she makes, it seems as though it's, well, I had a conviction about it. You can just have a choice not to go to Starbucks because they don't align with your beliefs, and that's okay. That's your choice. But it doesn't automatically have to be a spiritual conviction, if that makes sense.
something that we felt convicted on, that it's not for us.
Not for us.
Not IVF. We're doing IUI.
Doing IUI. Big difference. And if you don't know the difference, I'll spare y'all and y'all can just Google that. Why is IUI okay, but IVF is not? Okay, well, I guess I'm actually just going to jump into that now.
Yeah, you didn't see that one coming.
No, I forgot that was the next question, even though we've already talked about
Take
this
it
on the
away. I'll
podcast.
just be over here with my tea.
So, IUI, I don't want to say it's not invasive because it kind of is. It's no different than like a women's wellness exam, in my opinion. I've been through like the HSG and the ultrasounds now, and that's really what I could compare it to, is a women's wellness exam, a pap smear. So that is that. Like, it's a pretty simple process. You just go in and they just help the swimmers swim to... Are you sleeping?
I was just letting you explain. I'm not involved in this part.
Carry
Carry on.
You let the swimmers swim. So they just basically insert a catheter into your uterus. I believe it's your uterus. I'm not a doctor. I'm not great with human anatomy. I'm learning so much along this journey. We are learning so much. Yeah, they just help the swimmers swim.
Ma'am. All right. Okay. I wish I could go back to those videos. Her fitness influencer videos. And even her defending herself of being a personal trainer. I'm not sure if she... Okay. I don't know. She said that she was a certified personal trainer. But all that you need to do on Instagram is just put it in your bio that you're a CTP. You know what I'm saying? Like certified CPT, sorry. Certified personal trainer in your, but you really don't have to. Okay. So she said that she, I think was NASM, which is like the biggest organization where you can get your personal training cert. But guess what you should, and I cannot believe she just said this. In order to be a great coach, in order to train people, especially, women who she was mostly training, guess what you need to know? Well, anatomy. Guess what? When you are actually educated in kinesiology, in health promotion and wellness, when you get a degree in that, you have to know human anatomy. You don't have to know as much as a nurse or a doctor when you are actually working in the healthcare field. Don't get me wrong there. But you had to do A&P 1 and 2, which is absolutely disgusting. I hated it. But that's... neither here nor there. But you have to know that. And in order to be a great personal trainer, you need to know human anatomy. And she worked at a vet clinic. Whatever the hell she did there. But she even wanted to be, what did she say? She wanted to be an equestrian something. I don't remember what she wanted to do, but it was in the vet field. And though, animal anatomy and human anatomy are different, there are still some similarities. So you've told everyone, your audience, for years that you vet, blah, 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 personal trainer, all these things that would help you to know the human body. But you just said, I don't know human anatomy. I don't know anatomy. Either you're trying to be a silly, stupid woman and cute in front of your husband, or you truly don't know. And you've been lying to us for what Avi, she's been lying about a whole bunch of things, in my opinion. But that she just made herself look even dumber than we all think she is. Good God.
Swim to reach the egg. IVF, however, is completely different in a sense of they are taking your egg and taking the sperm and creating an embryo in a petri dish, give or take, something like that. And I just don't feel comfortable with that. Like, that's just not for us. So IUI is the route that we feel peace on. But again, everyone has different convictions. If you are going through a fertility journey, the biggest piece of advice I could give you is to pray into it. Seek the Lord on it. God knows what's best for you and your family or your future family. And for us, we prayed into IUI for about a year. Honestly, I would say it was about a year.
Yes.
For about a year before actually starting to move forward with the process. So I know I can say and he can say that we both have felt peace on it from the Lord. Number 3, will you be sharing your baby's face and name? No shame if not. So we really unpacked this.
I can be a part of this.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Please hold.
I'm back.
We really unpacked this in the podcast episode. Do you want to start?
Go ahead.
It's really hard. Like, I have mixed feelings about this.
As do I.
Yeah, I think that we are living in a crazy time. I do believe that AI is going to be the downfall of humanity as we know it. Just my personal opinion. Just throwing that out there. But that's a conversation for another day. And I just don't like the fact that, like, you can literally replicate anything that's posted online. And, you know, obviously my life and our life is just, it is what it is. It's out there. But our future child, I don't want to sign them up for something that they didn't sign up for. We talked a lot about consent in the podcast.
Then why is this a conversation? And maybe I need to go to their podcast and just like timestamp when they're talking about this and diving more into it. But I don't understand why it's so hard. It's just really difficult. Why? Just say no. But okay. I need to calm down. The reason why content creators, YouTubers such as brittanydawn, when they have children, they're like, oh, we just don't know. We don't know if it's a good idea. All the things that are coming out now, we don't know if we're going to show our children or not. The reason why it's not a black and white answer, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions, is simply because of content. Is simply because of monetization, of monetizing your content. Because once you have a child, as life works, your life is now, you know, revolved around the children or child. So what am I going to post? How am I going to post something that doesn't have the child in it or doesn't revolve around the kid? Easy. Don't make your content about your children, as you have already done. And the child, whatever, not even here yet. So, and previously, we've talked about this a few times before, but she has said, my pets are none of y'all's business, and I'm not even going to put them on the internet anymore. Like, ma'am, if you think that of your dogs, which I'm here to say, my dogs are my family 100%. However, when it comes to human children, they kind of go up the totem pole a little bit. You know what I mean? But she's literally putting her pet's safety and the criticism she gets on the internet of the pets over the potential harm these children will, I mean, I don't want to like say they will do that, but I mean, it's inevitable. Yeah, there are terrible people on the internet who are going to be bullying the children and who are going to say stupid stuff on the internet that these children are going to see one day. But what I'm referring to is the safety of these on the internet, who, what I think Brittany was referring to, the whole AI thing, where you can take a picture, a video of a child, and it's so gross. And then they can like make the children move and do things that they're not already doing. But it's disgusting. But that's the dark web now, and I think that's what she's referring to when she's talking about AI. But even AI aside, people know where you live, and they know what you do, and if you put your child on the internet, people are going to be able to find them super easily. And even without AI, taking screenshots of your kids, whatever, it's not safe regardless. So coming back around, the only reason, in my opinion, the only reason to why content creators, it's just really hard decision to put the child on is for content purposes only. That's it. That's literally it. It should not be a difficult decision as to, should I protect my child or should I not protect my child? That's what it boils down to. That is what it boils down to every time. Am I going to be a good parent and keep my children safe? Or am I going to be, I don't know, and thrown to the wolves and not protect my children? Because it's going to be so freaking annoying if this child or children, whatever, are little girls. You know, Jordan's going to be I'm the girl dad, and you can't touch my child until my daughter's 50. She can't get married till she's 7. You know, that stupid shit drives me nuts. You know that he's gonna do that. You know he's gonna get tactical gear that has girl dad all over it, which whatevs, neat. But if you're gonna be that protective dad, the internet is also in that category. Keep your child off the freaking internet. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do.
That's a big thing too. I personally am leaning towards no. Name, I feel like, is harmless. It's a name, right? Like, God forbid you had to. You could always change that. A name is a name. We will be sharing that for sure. Adoption or conception. But as far as like how much we're going to post them, it makes me sick to my stomach when I see mommy influencers, like their whole Instagram is their kids. And I just personally don't feel like that is setting your child up for success. If they choose to do that when they are of age and can understand the repercussions that can come from social media, and that's their choice, that's one thing. But when a child is a child, they don't understand. Like, they don't have the wherewithal to know the depths to which social media can be, the pros and the cons.
She's on a roll here, but if we took a bet right now, because she even just said, I'm leaning more towards no. It should be a full stop no. Why leaning toward no? Because as soon as they get their kid, or they have whatever, as soon as they acquire a child, however that might be, this is how it's going to go. In my opinion, this is how it's going to go. She is going to kind of like post the child here and there, just a little bit. But when she sees the views go up, and the view count go up, even when it comes to Instagram or whatever, And, oh, this is what I did with my baby today. Oh, tactical dad, girl dad vlog, whatever. As soon as she sees those views, oh, it is now going to be about children. 100%. It's going to be all about the kids. Absolutely. And that's just gonna how it's gonna be, in my opinion. Because if you see other parent vloggers, mommy vloggers, whatever, family vloggers rather, you will see if something is specifically related about losing a baby. She's already monetized that pregnancy, peeing on the stick, showing the husband, birth video, anything in relation to that, the views are out of this freaking world. And so she's gonna see that, she's gonna get a little bit of that, and then it's just gonna go hog wild, and then she's gonna be a family vlogger. That's, in my opinion, that's how it's gonna be.
From very different perspectives. Mine is a protection thing and exposure. I was raised very old school. I mean this in no disrespect to anyone who feels this way, but I just don't believe or can't get behind the consent thing of a child. Like, I was raised very old school. You don't have an opinion until you're an adult. You can consent right on out the door to go mow the lawn. Like,
fully agree. You can have your opinion, but until you are out of the house and you're being that adult, I don't care. Okay, calm down. I was not raised to, as soon as you're 18, you're an adult, you can make your own decisions. No, the making of the own decisions happened when you were now out of the house. So I don't care how old you are. If you are still living under my roof, you don't have, I mean, you can have your own opinions, but they don't have merit, I don't necessarily care, to a certain extent. If you're a lot older and you're like, hey, I don't agree with that, okay, let's talk about it. But, like my kids, it's difficult because I am the bonus mom, but I do talk to my husband about it. Like, no, they should not be doing fill in the blank. They shouldn't be. They're children. They're teenagers, but they're still kids. So I understand, and I do fully agree with what he's saying right here, in the fact of children cannot consent, period. They cannot. They do not have the wherewithal. They don't even have let's talk about anatomy, because Brittany probably doesn't know, but your frontal cortex is not fully developed until you are into your 20s. So you shouldn't be able to, there's no consenting for a child. That's not how that works. So I do agree with that.
That's just how I was raised.
He's an 80s baby. I'm a 90s baby. We were raised in a completely different world. And so it's just different. Yeah. 25, 30 years later.
Which we don't even... I shouldn't say that we disagree, but we don't even have the same point of view on that.
No. Yeah. And I don't think it's one of those things like we're really going to know until we're there. Yeah. Like we're in...
I'm a 90s kid. I fully agree with what Jordan said. Like, you don't have consent, not consent. You cannot consent to things when you're a kid, right? Like, what the parent says goes. Now, I'm not talking about abuse or anything like that. I'm just talking about a normal family dynamic, whatever. But I don't, what would Brittany not agree with? What would Brittany be disagreeing with in the raising of the children like that? That he's 80s, okay. My husband is 80s. She's 90s, same as myself. My husband and I, we fully agree with how to raise children. Obviously not like every little baby thing, but fundamentally, foundationally, 100%. Whatever.
That season, because obviously we're still waiting for that season to happen. And by the time you guys see this video, you'll know about the whole adoption situation. What advice does Jordan have for men with infertility? Take it away, babe.
Caught me off guard there. I didn't know I had a question. Yes, hello.
So we went on the podcast, we talked about how male factor infertility is actually far more common than women's side of things infertility. And so we didn't know that.
And after learning that, and when we found out that we had a fertility issue, I actually prayed that the issue would lie with me and not her, because I know, and
that's just how selfish.
And well, no, but don't get me wrong, like, I want to be a father too, but I know how badly you want to be a mother. And I know the way that she processes things, that she would have done nothing but beat herself up about it. And so, I mean, newsflash, I was the one that was the problem, not her. And so I actually prayed for that, because I didn't want the enemy, her own thoughts, to get into her head about how she's broken, how she's not worthy, all these different factors, whereas I know that I can probably process that differently. Not necessarily easier, just differently.
I'm getting choked up right now.
Why?
Because it's so sweet. Like, well, I'm also just really emotional because of hormones and medicines that I'm on at the moment. But like, it just says so much about your heart, babe. You don't hear men say that. Like, I'm praying that God would give me the issue.
Ma'am, come here. Come here. He's saying that so he wouldn't have to deal with you. He is saying that because he didn't want to deal with you beating yourself up over not being a good wife, of not being able to, my body. He didn't want to have to deal with it. It wasn't a looking into his heart like, I wanted me to have the problem so my wife wouldn't do it. No. Read between the lines, Brittany. He is saying that because he didn't want to have to deal with the shit, the mental shit of the spiraling of the whatever that you would have done if it would have been you. For a man, for Jordan, he's like, all right, well, that sucks. Where do we go from here? But if it would have been Brittany doing it, it would have been a spiral. It would have been a, how many flowers do I need to bring to her? She's already lost a kid. She's had a miscarriage. Like, how much more can I do for her? And I'm sure it could be emotionally taxing on him to always have to be lifting his wife up because of her mental state. He didn't want to have to deal with it.
You're not my wife. Like, just don't.
That's just.
We live in a very selfish world, and I just want to honor you. Like, that's.
Well, thank you. That's just my heart on this, because like, I beat myself up about other things and in other ways, but in that scenario, I was like, okay, I can handle this. I can work through this. Just please don't let it be her. And a lot of times, not always, the fix to the male infertility issues sometimes is easier than the female side. Less invasive, if you will, sure. Which ended up being our story. I had to take a couple of months and get healthy in a couple of aspects in my life, and I did.
We got a phone call that his swimmers were swimming.
They're swimming.
They were back, and they're
back stronger than ever.
Praise God. So I think my biggest piece of advice, what like he's trying to say, is that if you are going
through... translating for me now?
No, I'm just
usually
saying...
the one that translates for you with your broken Texas English.
It's so true. No, but like, I think that if you are going through infertility of any kind, what we wish we would have known, and I don't know,
I don't think it's Texas English by any means. I think it is ignorance. I think it's laziness. I think it is her being unintelligent. Not Texas.
I want to speak for you, but like, I wish we would have gotten your side of things checked sooner.
Sure, yeah.
Because I think that we would have been
absolutely
in the season we're in now. I think we would have been in this season a year ago rather than this year right now.
And it would have saved
it would have saved a lot of heartache.
It would have saved a lot of heartache.
I'm sorry. Okay. I hate it when people look at Brittany and they're like, Texas girl, Texas mom. If we did not know where she was from, if we didn't know anything about her, and we saw a picture of her, and they're like, where do you think she came from? It would be nowhere southern. Nowhere on a ranch. Nowhere that had to do with anything in relation to animals, grass, anything like that. Absolutely not. It would be very city. and very, probably like California, LA. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate when, oh, Texas girl, oh, her Texas broken English. If you heard her talk, number one, and just saw a picture of her, you would never, ever say, she's from Texas, this is what she does, tries to do. You know what I mean? Like, it has nothing to do with her being in Texas. She's just a silly, silly gremlin.
But I also know that we grew as believers. We grew as... In our marriage.
Mm-hmm. You know what's sad?
As people. What?
Is they say that infertility actually causes a lot of people to... Not a lot, but like a good, like 50% chance of divorce. And it just breaks my heart because, like, I look at us and I look at what we...
That's a lot. And you're probably wrong.
Walked through, and I'm like, I wouldn't want to walk through this with anyone but my husband, but you. So it's just really sad. So if you're like going through this and it is putting a strain on your marriage, like, I want to encourage you to seek wise counsel, go to therapy together, like, use it as an opportunity to grow closer together. It's not blaming.
Okay, I'm reading it right now, and it says couples who do not have a child after fertility treatment are 3 times more likely to divorce or end cohabitation. So that's a lot. Even if it was 50%, like, that's still a lot. Let's okay.
Each other. It's not blaming one person. It's, hey, we're in this together. Like, it takes 2 people to have a child, obviously, male.
Which I do have to, whatever her right now, because she did say therapy. So I will give credit where it's due, even if it's just a little baby credit. When she said, infertility, Christians always say wise counsel. That means like pastor or the counselor at your church. But if they are an actual therapist or counselor, sure, absolutely. But fundamentalist Christians, they like to slap labels on people inside of the church and say that's a wise counsel, or that's an elder of the church, whatever. Okay. Go to therapy, which I am happy that she did say therapy, and she didn't say just Christian therapy, whatever. If that is something that you do want to do, go for it, absolutely. Just make sure that they are well educated and can actually help you. But good job, Brittany. You said therapy.
Female, just throwing that out there.
I don't think that's controversial. I think that's truth.
It's truth, but unfortunately for some it's controversial. Anyways,
next question.
Why do you support Israel so much? Genesis 12:3. I'm gonna open up this Bible. I actually have an Israel Bible.
This is actually amazing.
This is so cool. So I wanted to show you guys this Bible. This is my Israel Bible. I hope you guys can see that.
It's backwards.
It is. It's backwards. It has English translation and it has Hebrew text, which is really, really cool because it helps you learn Hebrew language while you're reading the Bible, which I've always wanted to be bilingual. I'm not saying that I'm going to like become bilingual overnight, but I do think it's really cool. Let me just try to find Genesis.
Why do girls do this? Why do girls do this? It drives me freaking... And this is a newer thing. When girls do this, it makes you want to play in traffic. I hate it.
Please pause. It's in here somewhere because everything is backwards. Leviticus. There we go. Genesis. Are you going back to sleep again?
Well, I just didn't know how long this was going to take you to find it.
Okay.
Israel
So I
Bible.
found it. Genesis.
Coming back.
Genesis 12:3 says, I will bless those who bless you and curse him that curses you, and all the families of the earth shall bless themselves by you. So in this scripture, it's talking about the nation of Israel. It's talking about how Israel is the holy land, how Israel's the chosen land. And I know there's a lot of controversy. I know that there's a lot of opinion. And I do want to say this, like, as Christians, we are called to stand with God. We are called to stand with the kingdom. However, it is absolutely tragic, the loss that's happening on both sides. I think where a lot of people go wrong is they think that we support Israel and we're supporting all the terrible things that are happening. That's not the case. Like, it's devastating. It's absolutely crushing to see the stories, but it is the Holy Land. And so we do stand with the Lord as Christians, as Holy Spirit-filled believers and the body of Christ. But this Bible, y'all, it's just so...
It's really cool.
cool. Like, I want to show you guys. I hope you can see this. There's some really neat stuff in here. Like, you can literally see how it's not just English, but it's also Hebrew. I don't know. I kind of want to learn how to speak Hebrew. And what's really cool is it also, like, look, it tells you how to, like, sound it out. Vayo marado.
I don't think you should try that on camera.
Yeah, I probably.
Ma'am, if you do not know, if you are having problems with human anatomy, saying you worked at a vet, you were a personal trainer, you've helped thousands of women, blah, and now you're coming out and saying, I don't know anatomy, don't try not to learn Hebrew. Don't even, that is difficult. That is really, really hard. So why don't we try to form complete sentences, correct grammar, when it comes to titles, for example, of your video, nothing's capitalized, and even her description here, nothing's capitalized. There aren't a lot of periods. So why don't we start there? Correct forms of sentences, grammar, and maybe human anatomy, and then maybe you can learn some Hebrew down the line. Just little baby steps. Little baby steps.
Messed that one up.
We're
Really
still working on English.
Yeah.
Over
What's also
here.
cool, look, it's talking about Sarai when she was barren and had no child.
Yep.
Look at that. That feels timely. So timely given the conversation we're having. But Jordan is very passionate about this and could
and
talk.
this thing is awesome.
Yeah, it's truly awesome. There's also a really cool book that I have. It's like a coffee table book that has different words in the Hebrew language that every Christian should know. It's truly unbelievable. The timeliness of like even having access to something so precious like this, given the state of Israel and the world right now, it's just truly a beautiful thing. So we keep this in our house. We keep it on our coffee table. And I just think that it says a lot about where we stand as Christians. We stand with Israel. So if you're someone that stands with Israel too, and you are a Christian and a Holy Spirit.
She's talking about how when people come into her house, you will see that she stands with Israel because of this coffee table book. You wave the Israeli flag. I think they're going to know by the flag and not the
Spirit-filled believer. I would really encourage you to go get one of these Bibles for yourself because it's truly beautiful. I just feel like there's so much to learn from the Hebrew language.
Absolutely.
Next question.
What
if you get pregnant in the middle of adopting? What if? Isn't that kind of what we're praying for?
We're not adopting. We're not adopting solely because we haven't gotten pregnant yet.
Yeah, we're adopting out of obedience.
We're adopting because we feel called to adopt. Now, timing
All in
is
God's hand.
adoption ideal while welcoming our own baby? Probably not ideal, but that's his call. That's not ours.
I think the crazy part is like we are living in a time where the world makes kids seem like such an inconvenience, and kids are such a blessing. Yeah. And when you've been on an infertility journey of any kind, I don't care if it's 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, almost like us, you have a newfound appreciation for how precious life is, whether it's an adoption or a conception and a child of your own. We are going to love every child that God blesses us with our whole heart. It really does. Like it.
I have slight issue with his. It's all his timing. It's all his time. But like you're making the choice to do the IUI and adoption at the same time. That was you. Like y'all made that decision. I'll use this example again. I've said it before, but when I was a teenager, this girl that I wasn't friends with, but she got in my car and she didn't put her seatbelt on. And I was like, "Hey, put your seatbelt on." She said, "Oh, if we get in a car accident and God takes me, it was just my timing." I'm like, "No, it was because you were an idiot and didn't put your seatbelt on. Stop blaming God for all of your choices. He has given us." Oh my God, I'm doing it. I hate everything. I'm sorry. He has given us the ability to make our own choices. Neat. awesome. So let's not blame God on every timely thing. Let's not blame God for, well, it's his timing that we're doing IUI and adoption at the same time. No, dummy head, y'all are doing it. I bet God's like, dude, too much. It's too much. Don't blame me for this.
It just completely shifts your perspective on becoming parents. And so, yeah, if we get pregnant in the middle of adopting, that's a blessing. And if that's God's plan, that's God's plan. I have so many friends. We know so many stories. People in our life that they were in the middle of adopting, or they came home from the hospital and they were pregnant, or they found out they were pregnant in the middle of their adoption process and they went through with it. And now God has blessed them with 2 precious babies. Like,
sometimes more.
Yeah, if that happens, like,
okay,
awesome. That's God's plan. Has this process overwhelmed?
Now that she said we have people who are close to us that this happened to, I bet she heard those stories and, like, she is, like, kind of expecting that to happen. Now that she knows that it has happened before to some of her friends or people closest to us, they've gone to the doctor, came back, and she was pregnant, but then they also were adopted. I now that we know this, I bet that's the reason why they're doing this at the same time. Because other people have gotten pregnant while adopting, so it means we can get pregnant. Oh, I bet that's the reason, because her friends are doing it.
To you at any point, or are you guys taking it slow? Well, slow is irrelative. We did.
There it is. Irrelative.
Is that not a word?
Nope.
Are you serious?
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Slow
Irrelative.
is irrelevant. Oh my gosh.
Slow is a relative.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I know I can count on you. You are, outside of the Lord, you are one of the most constant things in my life. I know you're never going to let me down. You're never going to let the people down.
No, that's just...
That is her.
It is.
This is awesome.
This is me 24/7,
right.
You guys. Oh my
Continue
gosh.
with your
I'm thinking of things to say that wouldn't flag this video because of, I would do a lot of bad things if that was what I had to do in my life. Bang, 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 bang. That's insane. That would be, she's just making up. So the church that I grew up in, we had a pastor who would actually do the same thing. So my sister and I, we would have notes during church, because we were those folks who, took notes during the sermon, and we had a little column of made up words from Pastor Ken, and that's both a little silly that she did that, and also embarrassing. You know what I mean? Because it just proves her being unintelligent. You know what I mean? Like, it's not cute. It's not, oh my God. Like, she's the type of girl that I would be sure to just not be friends with or even talk to or whatever in school, because they're I'm just a silly girl. I'm just a silly girl, and I'm just so weird and quirky. I'm just so awkward. I don't like you. I genuinely don't like you. If you accidentally say a word wrong, or you accidentally make up a word or whatever, and it's like, oh shit, that was really stupid. Okay, on with no, they're just, this is 24/7. This is just who I am. Well, who you are sucks. Like, figure it out.
That's it.
I don't even know what I was saying. Slow is...
Irrelevant.
Thanks, babe.
Relative.
Got you. Slow is irrelative. And, wait. Irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
Oh my gosh. Jesus, help me.
Please don't edit that out. It's fantastic. This is the only reason I show up. This is great. This is entertaining.
No, we're not taking anything slow, but we did for 2 years because we really didn't start pursuing these fertility appointments until January of this year. So actually we did take it slow like for over 2 years, like 2.5.
I mean, if
2.5 years.
you would call inaction slow,
yeah,
we just didn't do anything about it. We didn't know, and we didn't know what we didn't know. And that you hit on that earlier, like knowing what we know now, we wish we would have started the process earlier.
Yeah. January was the month that we truly felt the Lord confirm that we were called to adoption, and also started getting us answers on our fertility journey. Finances and adopting. I'm so overwhelmed with how to afford it. Yeah, girl. That's a whole thing that we also unpacked in the podcast. It's really unfortunate that there's not something that can help families adopt because there is such a need. There's such a need for adoption, especially with Roe v. Wade being overturned and all these abortion clinics getting shut down. We as Christians, if we're going to be passionate about saving the unborn, we also need to be passionate about stepping up to the plate and doing something about it. Unfortunately.
Wow. Okay. Good for her.
A lot of people can't afford to do that. Now walking through a failed adoption, like, you don't get that money back. That is part of it. And it's a very vulnerable, scary thing that you truly just have to rest in the Lord and know that He's Jehovah Jireh and that He will provide. And He has provided for us through this. It just breaks my heart. Like, you see all these programs to help with other things, but I'm like, what about these kids that need forever loving homes?
Killed it. Spot on.
Passionate, babe. How did you know that adopting is the right decision? The Lord confirmed it.
I feel like it's a calling. I feel like it's something that both of us had a passion for and a desire for prior to meeting one another and prior to being married. That was pretty easy. We prayed into it. And then ultimately what was more confirmation than anything was the opportunity that we have gone with is actually not something that we sought out. It came to us.
It literally fell on our lap.
That was even more confirmation that we were heading down the right track.
Are you guys still trying to get pregnant even though you're adopting? We kind of already answered that. Yes, we are.
You bet. Yes, we are.
Did you ever consider embryo adoption, and what are your thoughts on it? This is the last question. We actually, previous to, I feel like there needs to be like a theme song playing every time we do that. Before we knew that Jordan's sperm count came back, praise God for that, we actually were heavily pursuing embryo adoption because we believe that life begins at the moment of conception, just like it says in the Bible. We do not want to have those embryos in a lab. It just doesn't seem right. That is a soul on ice, in my opinion. As Christians, we have these convictions, and are we willing to step up and do something about it to make a change, make a difference? And embryo adoption is just that. Basically, where they take an embryo that is currently frozen and they would place it inside of the woman's womb and allow her to give birth to that child. It was a no-brainer to Jordan. It was a no-brainer. It's just a beautiful opportunity to help a life make it to actual like physical life here on earth. I think it's such a beautiful thing. It's a lot to wrap your mind around. We got connected with 2 incredible families, one of which we decided to go with. The other one was also super helpful. It really just helped us understand the process more, understand what it is. As of now, we're doing IUI. There's still a high likelihood that we would consider embryo adoption. Was your nap nice?
Yeah, you were talking through it, but yeah, pretty good. But I'm used to it.
Any closing regards?
You did great.
That's it, y'all.
You didn't even miss me.
That's it, y'all. Thank you guys so much for stopping in on our channel.
Bye.
If you guys want to get your own Israel Hebrew Bible, I will leave a link down in the description box below. As always, thank you guys so much for stopping in. We will see you guys in the next vlog. I kind of like these card chats. These are kind of fun. Bye.
Ew. Alright. That's it. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do that full podcast. I'm sure it's over an hour long. It's usually what her podcasts are, about like 45 minutes to a little bit over an hour long. So let me know if you want me to react to that. I'd imagine it's the same subjects that they're talking about, but a little more in depth. So Lord Jesus. See, that was silly. That was dumb. I tripped over my words, and now we're going to move on with life and just say that was really stupid and I sounded big old dummy head. But that's okay. I'm not going to make it my personal. Oh my God, I just trip over my words. Sometimes I'm so goofy. Ugh, I cannot. Alright. Again, let me know in the comments below. Oh, Lord. If you want to watch this video 12 to 24 hours early before it goes public and with 0 ads, just hop over to my Patreon and become a member there. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day or not whenever you're watching this, and don't take things so seriously all the time. Like, we're living in the age of offense and being offended. Just if something does offend you, just all right, well, that sucks, carry on with life. You know what I mean? Like, we don't always have to be super uptight and all that. Just go touch some grass, go play with your kids, go pet your dog, brush your hair, take a shower, whatever you gotta do. Just calm down. Alright, I appreciate y'all so very much, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.